All right, let's talk about hiring. I mean, it's got to be one of the biggest stressors for any business that's trying to grow, right? We're going to get into how you can build a system that runs so smoothly you never have to make one of those desperate last-minute hiring decisions again. Think of it as a perpetual talent engine.
So, does this sound familiar? An employee suddenly quits, or maybe a huge project just lands on your desk, and bam, it's an all-hands-on-deck scramble to find someone, anyone, to fill that role. It's this super stressful, reactive cycle, and you know it often leads to not-so-great decisions. If you're nodding along right now, well then you're in the right place.
Look, this isn't just a case of bad luck. It's actually a trap. We call it the panic hiring trap. And it's this frustrating cycle where you're always reacting to your staffing needs instead of, getting ahead of them. It feels like you're just constantly putting out fires, doesn't it? And man, it is exhausting, it's expensive, and at the end of the day, it's really just holding your business back. And this slide, wow, it really lays out the two different worlds, doesn't it? I mean, look at that reactive side. High stress, rushed decisions, people who just don't fit the culture, it's just constant firefighting. But then you look over at the proactive side. Being in control, making strategic choices, finding quality hires that actually lead to stable growth. It's a completely different universe, really. A much better one.
So, the million-dollar question is, how do you get from that chaotic side to the calm, controlled one? Well, it all starts with a pretty fundamental shift in your mindset. You've got to stop thinking of hiring as just a task you do when a seat is empty. Nope, it's an ongoing business function, just as crucial as your sales or your marketing. Seriously.
And here it is. This is the whole philosophy in just 6 words. Recruiting should be ongoing, not reactive. That is the core idea. It's about treating recruiting like a continuous process, a system that's just always on, always nurturing talent, and always ready for whatever comes next. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. That's the why. Now let's get into the mechanics, the how. The source material lays out this beautifully simple 6-step framework for building your very own recruiting machine. This is the practical, nuts and bolts system you can actually use to make that mindset a reality. So here's what that framework looks like. It all starts with attracting talent, right? Then you screen them. You interview the best ones, you train your new hires, you assign them to roles where they're going to thrive, and finally, and this is huge, you work to retain that talent. But here's the most important part. This isn't a straight line that just ends. It's a continuous cycle. Even when you think you're fully staffed, this engine should always be running in the background, pulling potential candidates through those first few stages.
You know, any machine is only as good as its maintenance, right? And the great news here is that keeping this talent engine running smoothly doesn't require some massive, heroic effort. Not at all. It just takes a few simple, consistent habits that'll keep your pipeline full and the whole process just humming along quietly in the background.
So what are these simple habits? Well, first, keep your job ads active, even when you're not actively hiring. This creates a nice, steady trickle of candidates. Second, just maintain a simple spreadsheet of promising people you've talked to. Then, make it a weekly habit, just once a week, to track new applicants and follow up with the really strong ones, just to keep them warm. See, it all boils down to that final, most important point. Always be recruiting. Make it a core part of your weekly rhythm, just like any other important task.
So, after all this, after shifting your mindset and putting these simple habits in place, what's the ultimate result? What's the real payoff for all this proactive work? Well, let me tell you, it's about way more than just filling roles. It's about fundamentally transforming the very foundation of your business.
In this final quote, it really just says it all perfectly. Agencies that recruit consistently never panic hire. I mean, just stop and imagine that for a second. Imagine having a bench of pre-vetted, interested candidates who are ready to go the moment a role opens up. The stress, gone. The panic, totally gone. All that's left is you making a calm, strategic choice from a pool of great talent. Now that is the power of a perpetual talent engine.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. I want you to take a really hard, honest look at your current process. Is your recruiting system running on the frantic, unpredictable fuel of pure panic? Or is it a well-oiled machine intentionally built for one purpose, to make sure your team is always staffed with the best possible people? The choice, really, is yours.